Hey, welcome back to another Haven't Read It video. Our first story of the day is from r/AITA. AITA for recording my friend's fiance at her bachelorette party and playing a recording for him. I was invited to a bachelorette party for my friend's fiance. It was over the long weekend at a vacation rental on the beach. There was booze, a hot tub, great food. It was definitely a hit. At one point, I was on the deck looking at the ocean, and the bride was drunk in the hot tub with two of her friends. She said she felt more relaxed than she had in a while. I assumed she was referring to the wedding planning. One of her friends asked if she was having trouble with the little monster. She said no, that he was manageable for now. At that point, I realized they were talking about my friend's son. I took out my phone and started recording them. The bride's friends said horrible stuff about my friend's son, and the bride responded positively to everything, laughing and agreeing. Then she said that it was too bad he wasn't old enough to send to military school. I stopped the recording when their topic changed. I don't think they ever realized I was close enough to hear them. When we got back, I asked to meet with my friend and played him the recording. He was quiet while he listened. After the recording was finished, he asked me to send it to him, which I did. Then he asked me to delete it, which I said I would do, but haven't yet. I feel like an asshole for interfering. I really do. However, I'm worried about my friend's son. Depending on what my friend does, I might need to send this recording to the poor boy's family. I feel like I've overstepped, but what else can I do? Was I being an asshole? The update. Yesterday, Friday afternoon, I got a text from my friend asking me to block his fiance's number. Good. I was a bit thrown by the request and asked if everything was okay. He said he couldn't talk right now and asked me to please just block the number. So I blocked the number. I have this weird glitch with my Android Auto where if a blocked number calls me, it shows up in my recent calls as a missed call on my car's screen, even though on my actual phone it doesn't ring at all. I was driving later and saw a ton of missed calls from her. There were so many, it exceeded what my car will show me. I kept the number blocked. Later, my friend's best friend, who was supposed to be the best man, called me and asked me if I had heard from our friend. I said yes and asked why. He sent me a screenshot from the fiance's Facebook talking about how people show you their true colors and saying she was newly single. I tried to call my friend, but he didn't answer. Tonight, I finally heard back from him. The long and short of it is that he asked her about how she feels about his son. She said he's adorable and sweet. My friend played her the recording, and she asked where he got it. He refused to tell her, saying it shouldn't matter. She immediately guessed it was me. He refused to confirm that. She was angry that he wouldn't tell her. I recorded her conversation, and she said she can't trust him anymore. She called off the wedding. Not a great update, but since so many of you were so invested, I thought you'd want to know. Top comment. You did the right thing. I love how she's immediately deflected to asking who recorded her. Your friend dodged a bullet. Someone responds, for real. The fact that she jumped straight to being mad about being recorded instead of what she said just proves she knew she was in the wrong. That guy seriously dodged a lifetime of drama. Next top comment says, so she broke it off since he would not tell her? Did she address what she said in the video? This is crazy. Update me. OP responds, he didn't give me a word-for-word rundown of their conversation, but from what he told me, once the conversation shifted to her wanting to know who recorded her, it never went back to what she said. Someone responds, sounds a bit like Darvo. Deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. Next top comment says, good riddance. You did the right thing. Your friend would be better off because of you. Next top comment says, I'm surprised she called it off. OP responds, me too. I feel really bad for him. At least this way she can't play the he left me right before our wedding card though. Next top comment says, she can't trust him? The lion, the witch, and the audacity of this bee. Next story from Malicious Compliance. Forced me to get bobblehead figure as a bonus instead of money? You got it. I used to work for a small online retail company, ultimately there for about 10 years. At the point where I had been there for about 6, the owners decided they wanted to start rewarding employees who had been with them for 2 years or more with custom bobblehead figures of us employees. The company they found to do these let you upload pictures of yourself, choose outfits, themes, or whatever. Fully customized and not cheap. Average cost per bobblehead was about 100 to 150 USD. I was a little incensed that for all the time people had put in and hard work on growing a company, that the owners felt it was more appropriate to get some goofy bobbleheads for us instead of a bonus check. Considering how much they were willing to shell out for these custom bobbleheads, just cutting checks to us should have been a very real possibility. They sent out the forms for us all to pick out which bobblehead designs we wanted to choose. While others went along with it, I simply did not fill out the form. This caught the attention of one of the owners, who reminded me that they wanted the form filled out so they could place the order. I told him that I really didn't want a bobblehead and honestly would rather just have $100. The owner refused and said I had to choose a bobblehead. No choice, I was going to get. Here comes the malicious compliance. I found the most expensive design for bobblehead that I could choose, which was to have me put in a standing style wheelchair. When all was said and done, my particular bobblehead cost just shy of $250. Forced me to choose a custom bobblehead? Fine, I'll go with the most expensive one. They never said a thing. About 4 years later, they would terminate me to find someone to do the same job for significantly less. I smashed the shit out of that bobblehead after I took it home. Edit to clarify. I asked for money instead. Was told no. Was told I had to take a bobblehead. I was starting with a write-up for insubordination if I didn't fill out the form to receive one. Top comment says, Oracle gave out bobbleheads of their CEO one year. Quite a few wound up in the office restroom urinals. Next top comment says, assuming giving a bonus is a tax liability, bobbleheads would be a deduction. Cheap bastards. Next top comment says, I mean, how do you even start with the $250 bobblehead instead of just giving people some cash? Did they think that was going to make folks feel appreciated or what? Alright, this is a bit of a personal story. I worked at UPS after high school, and one of my coworkers who unloaded the trailers had not missed a day in 5 years, hadn't called out sick, was never late. He was working. A manager and a supervisor show up, give him a fucking water bottle and a candy bar. They gave him a water bottle and a candy bar, shook his hand, and said, thanks for all the hard work. And I think they might have given him a piece of paper, like a certificate. And that was it for 5 years of hard work. Next story. Customer wants a man to help him? Okay. I worked in a mid-sized hardware store as a salesman. I had been working in the construction industry for 15 years, and at this store for at least 10 years. I knew almost everything about how to do home repair projects and what was needed to fix the problems. At this same time, we had a girl at the sales counter named Bonnie. Not a real name, but it will do. She was also very knowledgeable and one of our best salespeople. We were both behind the counter one day. She was standing at the counter and I was standing at the desk doing some paperwork. An older guy comes up to the counter and Bonnie asks if she can help him. No, I need a man that knows what he's doing to help me. Bonnie was pissed. She turns to me and asks me to take over. Sure, no problem. Cue up my warped sense of humor. Sir, what can I help you with? He states the problem. I immediately turn around and restate the issue to Bonnie. She casually answers, and I turn back around and repeat exactly what Bonnie had just said. He asks another question, and I repeat the question to Bonnie, then repeat her answer to the customer. Every question he asked me, I turned and asked Bonnie, then repeated her answer to him. Yes, I knew all the answers, but the guy was being a prick, so I decided to give him a little lesson. He wanted a man to help him? Okay. Top comment says, I love it. What a great way to stand up for and with Bonnie and make the customer look like the idiot he was. Next comment says, this is brilliant. You're being polite and respectful, as well as showing great confidence in Bonnie, which is good for you, good for her, and good for the shop. Maybe the customer will think about this later and find his sense of humor. People do learn sometimes. Next comment says, as a female auto parts store manager, I get these guys more often than I would like. Maybe once a month or so, but still too often. My recent go-to response, when they tell me they want a man, is to suggest they download Grindr. Sometimes it whooshes, but sometimes they know what I'm talking about. I once had an elderly-ish man who was so scandalized by my presence that he returned 2 batteries I carried out for him the previous day. He was uncomfortable with the fact that I didn't use a dolly and carried them out to his truck for him. Final story of the day. Show me your best, most expensive product. When I was working in retail, the stuff we stock was generally meant for everyman use. That means that they are not highly priced, and the quality is also average. Not poor, mind you, but definitely not Fortnum and Mason kind of quality. Product for the masses, affordability is key. In comes this lady who tells me about a problem she has. I recommend several solutions, which, like I said, are everyday brands which are affordable. This lady wrinkles her nose. Why are you showing me all this cheap stuff? Show me the most expensive stuff you have. I only want the best stuff. Price really is no object. Sure, I grin, knowing this is the time I put all my store knowledge to good use. I led her behind the store. Here, madam, all our premium products. We have this premium product, which works amazing and has plenty of good reviews. And it is simple and easy to use, too. Unlike the cheap product and mid product that I showed you earlier. This one just needs to be used once or twice, and your problem will all clear up. Nope, premium product is 5 times the price of the mid product. And over here, we have deluxe product, which you'll just need to use once. And look how easy it is to use. Deluxe product is even more expensive than premium product. Now our dear customer has gone very, very quiet and is starting to look a little uncomfortable. Wow, she mutters under her breath, but also in a voice loud enough for me to hear. That's expensive. Shall we return to looking at the cheap and mid products? I ask with a smile. Yes, please, she says, looking relieved. She becomes much more receptive after that to my suggestions. Well, I guess price was an object after all. Takama says, she realized that if she spent all the money she had, she wouldn't have it anymore. Lucky for you that she figured it out. Next Takama says, she wanted to feel rich for a few seconds and impress a stranger with her wealth. OP responds, flexing the people who work in retail is wild. We really don't care whether you're rich. We also know that if you're truly rich and willing to spend, you wouldn't have been shopping at what is effectively an ASDA of my industry. Someone responds, ASDA, for clueless Yanks like me, apparently is a British chain of stores acquired by Walmart in 1999. Judging by the context, British folks deem ASDA to be just as glamorous and upmarket as we in the US find Walmart to be. Okay, that's helpful. Thanks for listening and have a wonderful rest of your day. See you in the next one.